Assalamualaikum and a very good day. This is our group's presentation on the subject of public sector accounting in Kedah government. These are our group's members, Elinor Diana, Intan Nur Farhani, Noratika, and myself, Nurul Nazira. So based on Kedah Auditor General's Report 2020, we will present the audit findings and financial implications in relation to the activities of governmental departments and agencies, as well as its financial management. We will also discuss the level of effectiveness of the state's governance and suggest a way to increase the state revenue. First and foremost, Kedah is well known as Malaysia's rice bowl because of its huge contribution in agriculture industry, mainly because of paddy planting. Kedah is also dependent on its tourism sector, which focuses on the Langkawi Island, Malaysia's favorite holiday destination. Now let's check out the performance of the state government.
According to State Auditor General's Report 2020 for Kedah, there are few main audit findings that we found for activities of department or agency and management of state-owned companies. First, in Auditor General Certificates Other Matters section has raised the two issues, which are first, bank reconciliation statement must be made periodically reviewed and unreconciled issue must be addressed right away, and improve the payment authorization rules outlined in Treasury Directive subsection AP 58 subsection A. Secondly, as of August 31st, 20 of the 23 financial statement of the Kedah State agencies for the year ending December 31st, 2020 had been submitted for audit. Next, PBNS that submitted their financial statements late applied for an extension and was approved by the State Finance Officer until 30 June 2021 and 30 July 2021. Lastly, as of 31st August 2021, 20 financial statements of state agencies for the year ending 31st December 2020 are still in the process of being audited and have not been verified. Accordingly, analysis of the financial performance of state agency is not reported in this report. Next, the financial implications are owners who want to use their land for categories other than those listed in the title must take actions to change the use category. Sections 124 and 124A of the KTN and the state land rules allow the owner to do so. Each accepted condition change application will be subject to an extra premium payment from the state authority, and the owner doesn't comply with the terms, the state authority may reclaim the land in line with the applicable land legislation.
Audit findings and the financial implications to the state in the areas of financial management and surprise audit. An audit analysis found that the state government's financial position was stable. Changing the land use category without an application to change the conditions caused a loss of income amounting to 112,696.30 per year. The consolidated revenue account shows a current deficit amounting to 54.42 million ringgit. Revenue collection in 2020 decreased about 28% from 2019. The state government's management expenditure went down by 8.83 million. 121.44 million ringgit has been spent on state government water supply and development projects compared to 335.68 million approved allocation. The loan balance can be claimed declined by 7%, while the loan repayment areas declined by 1.8%. The public debt balance is decreased of 1.18% and public debt repayment areas increased by 7.4%. Financial implication. The state government's overall deficit is due to the current year's revenue collection dropping by 217.60 million to 560.66 million in 2020, down from 778.26 million in 2019. This decrease in revenue caused the deficit in 2020 to increase by 160.92 million to 175.86 million compared to the decrease of 14.94 million in 2019. This income collection cannot cover the expenses which are made up of running and development development costs, a payment from the consolidated revenue account to the development fund is also counted as part of operational costs. Domestic loans, loan repayments and other receipts and cash changes, investments and trusts were used to cover the income gap. Overall, it can be concluded that the management of land revenue and tax areas is not properly managed at PTKP, particularly involving enforcement actions when land use conditions are violated and causing a loss of revenue. This is because there are weaknesses such as no monitoring of land use carried out in the district, no action to issue a notice of violation of land conditions, and no coordination between departments at district level in enforcing the violation of conditions. The justification for selecting the compliance title for 2020 is to take into account weaknesses in internal control aspect and revenue components that contribute to the highest revenue collection in the department.
Level of effectiveness in governance practices in the state's department or agency. The term governance emerged from the necessity for accountability and openness in any institution. Within public sector context, good governance demonstrated responsibility, authority, and transparency, as well as clear decision-making. Muhtar and Ali assert that in order to ensure that organizational goals are attained, quality governance activities are essential. Efficiency in the public sector could be compared with that obtained in the public sector only when the objectives are identical, and even in this case, it's not fully comparable because the public sector develops complex projects that take into account not only the economic benefits but also social problems. Overall, the level of effectiveness in governance practices in Kedah is good but still need improvement. Departments and agencies need to improve the function of the internal audit unit by giving adequate training and provide annual audit planning so that auditing can be carried out accordingly. Internal Audit Unit also needs to make an objective and independent assessment related to internal control aspects as well as risk management and organizational governance. They have to report significant findings and give recommendations that can impact the organization. Moreover, Kedah still needs to practice transparency in corporate governance practices. Based on the scope and sample of the audit, land revenue management and tax arrears are not managed properly in Pejabat Tanah Kubang Pasu, especially when conditions are violated in land use.
Okay, so to increase Kedah state revenue, one of the best options is growing wheat. Nowadays, wheat flour supplies have been affected and reduced because of climate change and the war between Russia and Ukraine, the two largest wheat exporters. We Malaysians love our roti canai, noodles and bread, which are all made of flour, so we must solve this issue sooner. Many argue that wheat cannot grow in Malaysia's climate, but the International Centre for Agricultural Research in the Dry Areas, ICARDA, found the two durum wheat variants, Habi and Amina, which can survive in high temperatures and humidity. Therefore, this is our chance to utilize the idle agriculture lands in Kedah by planting weeds. This will not only generate revenues for the state but also offer more job opportunities to the people.
In the conclusion, it is clear that Kedah, the rice bowl of Malaysia, although being a small state, is very productive in both the agriculture and tourism industries. The government accounting records have been accurately updated, maintained and giving a true and fair view according to the Auditor General Report 2020. However, an audit and verification have not yet been completed for 20 financial accounts of state agencies for the year ending December 31st, 2020. As a result, this report does not analyze the financial performance of governmental agencies. The financial status of the state government was also deemed to be stable by audit examination. At the end of 2020, there was Rm 357 million left in the consolidated fund, an increase of 11.4% from 2019. Management expenses for the state government was Rm 8.83 million, which is 1.4% in total, declining from Rm 623 million in 2019 to Rm 615 million in 2020.